Well, you know, like you hear like a TV jingle, like on the radio or something like that.
I don't listen to the radio. Mikey, thank you for coming on the podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TrueShot Guest Spot podcast. As you can see, my guest here this week is a returning guest. That is Mikey Arthur, vocalist for the band The Gloom In The Corner. Mikey's a good friend of mine, and this is really what this conversation is. Just two friends just chatting about whatever, whenever, laughing, having a good time. Mikey's internet connection sucks. He kept on dropping out, but that's okay. Thanks to modern technology and editing software, we were able to splice together something. I think there was one point where I actually got up and I got a package from FedEx or something like that, or something happened. It was just a fun conversation. I asked him some questions from a Buzzfeed article, which, I mean, you know, Buzzfeed is, but you know, it was about questions that Americans have for Australians. So we just chatted about a bunch of stuff. We also talked about some Gloom in the Corner stuff too. Don't worry about it, okay? Anyways, enjoy the episode. All right, we're back for round two here with Mikey from Gloom in the Corner. I talked to him about this beforehand, but we were talking in our group chat that we have, and he's just going to talk the whole time, and I'm not going to say anything. So go ahead.
Did you know that Sherlock can regrow his foreskin because of the regenerative powers that he has in his vessel?
All right, well, now I'll take back over. And,
I told you I was opening with that. I said in the group chat, I'm opening with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to the
word. It's interesting, man, because like we talk pretty often in a group chat, so it's like it's cool to I don't know, I think we've become what would you call it over in Australia? We're not mates. There we go.
Mate, like it's funny. Like we have this saying, like we call our mates cunts and we call cunts mates. So like,
interesting.
You're a good cunt.
So I'm a good one. Okay. So that's interesting, because now how does the person on the receiving end know what side of the fence they're on? Do they know that like I'm a bad cunt or a good cunt? How do they know? Is it about how you say it?
Yeah, it's very much how you say it. Yeah.
All right, so give me an example if I was a good cunt and a bad cunt, how you'd say it.
To reference, I don't know if you know him, because I don't think he's very big internationally, but we have a comedian here called Alex Williamson, and he and
heard of him, yeah.
He and was it one of, I think it was Esso from the rap group Listen Esso, actually did like a full fucking 2-part series on the word cunt in Australia. And it's old as fuck now. It's gotta be like 5 or 6 years old. But the good example is like, you go up to your mate, you'd be like, "Oh, what's up, cunt?" like kind of thing.
Right.
That's like the very like, it's, as I said, it's all in the delivery and how you say it. But if you want to get like someone's attention, or you think that they're being a bit of a shit dude, you can be like, "Oi, cunt!" Like,
so you actually say "oi,"
that kind of thing. Yeah, we do say "oi." Like, I'm.
Isn't that in the Legend of Zelda? Don't they say that? Don't they say "oi" in Zelda?
I don't know. I haven't played Zelda.
Unbelievable. Okay, so you're having a decaf coffee over there, because tell people right now what time it is where you are.
It is currently,
oh my god,
3:05 a.m.
So why did you stay up late for this opportunity here?
Because my sleep schedule is fucked.
It is 11:05 a.m. where I am right now on the East Coast of the States. And I've been up since early this morning. My cat, he's got these digestive problems, and he just has trouble going to the bathroom, so we had to like scramble and
Is he okay?
Yeah, so I have to bring him back to the vet. This freaking cat has had 2 enemas in like the past like 6 months. I mean,
shit.
Yeah, he gets pretty bad, and they keep telling us, to use these different, and I'm just gonna be like, listen, you cunts. Okay, so I'm going to call him that.
Yeah, there we go. We got it.
I'm going to be like, listen, you cunts, this cat needs some prescription or something, because this is not working. But, so, I'm a little bit tired because of that, because he likes to meow as is, just on a normal basis, but now especially now. So I woke up this morning to meow, 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 meow. So that's why I got my 20% extra caffeine coffee from Dunkin Donuts here. I've never tried this before. There was a promotion going on. It's $2.
Yep.
This was $2. So I'm gonna try to take a sip of it right now. I'm gonna tell you how it tastes. Hold on.
Live reaction video. Here we go.
Tastes like a normal coffee.
Tastes like, okay, well that's good.
Bastards.
I mean,
it's all a ploy. You know, it's all a ploy to get promotions and stuff like that. These bastards. But
I mean, to be fair, like I went to America a couple of years ago with family, and
where'd
me
you
and
go?
my mum are very. We went down the East Coast, so we went started in LA, went all the way up to.
You mean the West Coast?
West Coast, sorry. Yeah,
I was
West
gonna
Coast.
say there ain't no LA over here on the East Coast.
No, I'm thinking East Coast because I have tons of friends in the East Coast and like Florida and you guys and all that shit. But yeah, we went up the West Coast, did like Grand Canyon, etc., like that kind of thing. Typical family holiday.
Yeah.
But me and my mum are very, very big coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
And we quickly we had heard that like the quality of American coffee is quote unquote dog shit, but we were just kind of like, surely it's not that bad. It was bad. So,
listen, man,
like legitimately, like the nicest coffee, like surprisingly, the nicest coffees that we got were from Starbucks.
See, I hate Starbucks. I don't know why. I think part of it is like they force me to say these stupid words. Like just say small, medium, large. Don't say freaking grande. What is this? Italy? I mean, like just say small. Like, you're in Montana. Okay, say small.
Fuck. There was a movie. I think it was where Paul Rudd goes off at the Starbucks employee for like all the different sizes and how they basically mean like the same thing but just in different languages. And he was like, "This is stupid." But yeah, like when we landed back in Melbourne, like the first thing that we did was went and got like a Melbourne coffee because we actually use like proper coffee.
Here comes my cat. You're gonna see him. There he goes. There he is.
Hello. Turn around.
This guy here, he tries to put himself over on every show that I do. It's like, listen, cat. This is my show. Now you're walking on my keyboard. Oh yeah. So I started recording again because my cat, as people probably had just saw in the video, just walked across everything. But he's very codependent. He's not feeling good, so I'll give him a pass today. Any other day, though, I'd throw him off the balcony. I'm just kidding. I love this kid. But
straight up, we're talking polar opposite worlds here because my cat, who's also a gingerbread female, is the biggest cunt on earth, and I mean that in a bad way. we're talking bad cunt here. Like she's. Sorry, I love Ginge. She's an awesome cat. Like she's not an awesome cat. What am I saying? But she's very like whatever the cat equivalent is of bipolar, where like, you know how like sometimes you'll over pet a cat and she'll like, or it'll like attack you.
Yep.
You'll pat it once, and in her mind she says that's enough, and then doesn't let you know. And then there'll be times where she'll be like, keep on patting her, I'm going to attack you. And then there'll be times where she'll just attack you for no reason. And then like for whatever reason, I've had a couple of mates come over and they're like cat whisperer. Like they just, she's fine.
Maybe she's a good judge.
She's super docile. She's putting on like a full fucking facade because she fucking knows that we know that she attacks people.
I think she's a good judge of character, and she's deemed you bad people. And I think that she thinks. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. Yeah, I don't think she's a bad cunt. I think that she is a good judge of character, and she is determined that this man cannot be trusted. I think that's what's going on here. But yeah, no, I mean, getting back to the Starbucks thing, I remember this comedian that I used to like before. He got Ixnade canceled on the
I know it's Louis C.K. Just say Louis.
No, not Louis C.K. Chris D'Elia.
Oh, really?
Chris D'Elia.
Oh, that was going to be my next guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a bit about Starbucks where it was just like, there's so many Starbucks that once you walk out of a Starbucks, you're already inside of another one. And that's true. They're freaking everywhere. But here in the Northeast, though, Dunkin Donuts is just so popular. It's like the coffee in and of itself, like objectively speaking, is horrible. Like it's not good. But it's just so ingrained into the daily regimen of being from where we're at. It's just like, so it was not uncommon, you know, as a kid to, before you go to school, get a hot chocolate and a donut from Dunkin Donuts, or, you know, so we just grew up with it. And objectively speaking, I mean, this is mostly water with a dash of coffee, but you know,
caffeine. I think we had a Dunkin Donuts equivalent, but I think it was Donut King.
yeah, okay.
I think it was, like, I can't remember if it was you that I had this conversation with or somebody else, but like in America, like you guys have Burger King, right?
Yeah, you guys have Hungry, what is it?
Hungry Jacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just saw that.
It's literally just Burger King, but rebranded. And the reason why, from my understanding, is because we already had McDonald's, KFC, and Subway by the time that, McDonald's and KFC by the time that Hungry Jacks or Burger King wanted to come over. And the Australian population at the time didn't want to have another American fast food chain open.
Really?
Yeah. They thought it was too, like, public deterring. Like, they were like, we want our, like, if we're gonna have another fucking fast food chain, then we want it to be our own one. And so Burger King literally rebranded to Hungry Jacks here in Australia. Yeah,
it's funny because I remember I was talking to somebody about that recently, because Hungry Jacks is actually a brand of pancake batter over here. So that's what's very interesting.
True. Okay.
Yeah, it's a band. Oh my god, I keep saying a band. What the hell's wrong with it? A brand. See, there's not 20% extra caffeine in this coffee. I'm telling you right now.
Give it a minute. It'll kick in eventually. Once it gets into your bloodstream, you'll be fine.
I don't know about if it was any other coffee, maybe, but this one I'm getting mostly IV fluids. I think, like just water just pumping through my my veins here. Yeah. But you know, listen, I know that you're in a band, and I don't want to talk about what I want to talk about is some Australian myths and legends that I wanted to ask you about, because these are very strange to me. And I just Googled these, and I kind of wanted to, because I think Australia, while on the like if you look at pictures, it looks a lot like anywhere else. There's some fucked up stuff going on over there in terms of like your animals and your spiders. I saw there's a thing that's over 2,000 species of spiders over there. That's not anything to be proud of, by the way. That is disgusting.
Have we reached 2,000? Okay.
I saw a thing. I don't know. I saw it on the internet, so it's obviously true. But
yeah. Okay, go on.
So
I'm interested. I'm not super like into all our history and etc. in that aspect, but I'll try and answer as much as I can.
So there's this one here. The Bunyip, Bunyip, yes, the Bunyip. Don't stray too close to the Billabong. What's up with that?
Don't stray too close to the Billabong.
Do you want me to read you the excerpt they have here?
Yeah, is it like a phrase or something like that?
It says unfamiliar to the sites and alien environment. Wow, this person already in the first paragraph has a severe typo, but that's all right. We'll move past it. Early European settlers quickly took to the idea of a bunyip being a new creature waiting to be discovered, and set out on foolish attempts to find one in hopes of fame and riches. To various local Aboriginal tribes, this wasn't the case. The bunyip was a malevolent force that lurked in the bottom of creeks and billabongs, ready to devour anyone silly enough to wander down the wrong time. At least this was the line used on wayward children. It says, like any good folkloric tale, the bunyip sightings and incompatible facts. Wait, dude, who wrote this? Was this an imbecile that wrote? Was this an Australian that wrote this?
He was probably drunk as fuck.
Probably. It says I'll just go to the next legible sentence here. Bunyips have been reported to have horses' manes, dog faces, flippers, fangs, tusks, one eye, one. It literally says right here: fangs, tusks, one eye, two eyes. What is it? One or the other. Shaggy fur, short. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay. I've heard a little bit about the bunyips. I should put them in the Gloom lore actually, because we're an Australian band, and that would be fucking sick.
See this?
I'm getting them confused with. What's the other the Mini Kangaroos?
Oh,
Bilby. No, I'm terrible. I'm the worst Australian that there is. Yeah, no, like as said, like I haven't really delved too far deep to like that kind of territory of mythological kind of stuff when it comes to Australia. But if it's like from what you've described, it's kind of like, and from the quick little Wikipedia search that I had there, it's basically, yeah, as you said, it's basically just like a mythical creature that lives around like billabongs and like rivers, creeks, etc., and will just snatch like naughty children and shit. Kind of like a bit of like an Australian chupacabra or something like that, I imagine.
So they're obviously not real because you're still here and alive today. Because you would have been the first target of the Bunyip, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So then
there's actually like a funny story as to like because I'm not a big fan of swimming or just going near large thingos of water. And there was two reasons. One of them I've always known. Second one I only kind of found out recently. And when the first one that I knew about was when I was like one or 2 years old. We went to the botanical gardens in Melbourne, and they have like lily pad ponds which are right next to big patches of grass. And my dumb 1-year-old self ran up to one thinking that it was like a pitch of grass that we could sit on, and just went straight head first into it and almost drowned. And if it wasn't for the fact that my dad was like pretty much on it, then like I probably could have died. But the second one was my mum went to take me for swimming lessons with a teacher that was recommended to her by my auntie. And long story short, she started throwing me into situations that I was probably a little bit too incapable of actually handling for my age and maturity, because I would have been like 4 or 5. And basically like borderline was just kind of letting me drown. So yeah, that's the way that like my mum described it. She was just like, because she watched like a couple of the lessons and it was clear that I was struggling. And the teacher was pretty much just like, oh no, like he's meant to struggle, like that's how he's going to learn to stay afloat, etc. And mum's just like, he's fucking drowning. I was like, no, we're taking you to another swimming teacher after this. So yeah, I definitely first it would have been clapped by a Bunyip. So
yeah. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad. But anyways, I want to cut a quick promo here on these guys in my band, because these guys are I'm telling them I'm on the podcast and they're like, what's the next post? Because we have that new single coming out Friday, and they're like, what's the next post? Yeah. So they're like, what's the next post for today? I'm like, I'll tell you after, I'll give it to you after I get off the podcast. And they're like, where's the folder for? It's like, listen, shut the fuck up, okay? I'm on the podcast. Shut up, you cunts.
Wait, is this your members?
Yeah. It's Adam and Derek right here. Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna call him. Hold on. I'm calling him right now. People are gonna. Hey. You're live on the air right now.
I'm on the air right now.
Yeah, I'm on with Mikey. We're sitting here talking. Me and him are trying to have a nice conversation about his youth. And you keep texting me about this goddamn post for today. You'll get it.
I have it.
Good. Now, can you please stop interrupting me while I'm talking to this fine young man?
Well, you're lucky Mikey's a fine gentleman. Otherwise, I would tear you apart right now.
That's right. I have Mikey as a witness right here, so you better behave.
Tell him I say hello.
Mikey says, do what Rich says. He is the superior one.
Oh, fuck!
It depends on what aspect of what we do we're talking about, but I agree.
He did say hello after that, though. He's messaging the group right now. Don't listen to what he says. He's just trying to save face.
All right. Enjoy your podcast, boys.
Okay. Thank you. Leave us alone. Bye. You like that?
I talk the exact same way to Matt all the time. It's like, fuck off, I'm doing something.
It's like, I told you I'm on the podcast, leave me alone. I said, it's like somebody's going to carry this podcast weight around here, No, they won't do it. I got to do it. You know what I mean? But
well, it's a good thing that you are, because you're the vocalist, so you're the front and center.
Yeah, but I should be conserving my voice. I tell them all the time whenever we drive somewhere. I said I can't drive. I have to conserve my voice. So that's what I say.
If it makes you feel any better, I went to go take the night shift because Paul had pretty much been driving all day, and Nick had done like a 4-hour stint, and I was like awake for the entire day. And like up until that point, and then we stopped at a servo along the way, and I started smashing a Red Bull, and the Red Bull had an opposite effect and just fucking drained me. And then when it came to my turn to take over as driver duties at like 3 a.m. or some shit, I could only drive for 45 minutes because I was borderline falling asleep at the wheel. And like we stopped for 20 minutes so I could take a power nap, and the power nap did nothing. And Paul was just like, no, I'm just going to take back over. And he drove through till about 10.
Good. Make them do it. Listen, we got to...
And they give me shit for it all the time.
Listen,
I only drove for
okay, see, people will give us crap as vocalists for that kind of thing. But here's the thing, right? This is how I like to look at it. When you're playing a show, you got to be awake. You got to be on your... Because people aren't going there to talk to the goddamn bass player. Let's face it. They want to talk to you, okay? So you need to be awake, up and at them, and present and ready to engage with these Neanderthals, okay? So that's why...
They're not all Neanderthals.
Most of them, okay? No, I'm kidding. Okay,
maybe over there.
This is a comedy show, people, okay? Just relax, okay? But anyways, you got to engage with these people, and they're looking at you for 85% of the entire set. So you got to sleep. You need to have a manicure and a pedicure in the third on the bunks in the back of the van. You got to be sitting there. You need to hire somebody to come on the bus or the van rather, come in and just take care of you while these other guys drive, unload the gear, load up the gear, and you just sit at the merch table. That's the life of a vocalist. That's what it's going to be like.
Because we have to save our strength, because people don't realize this, but being a vocalist, your body is the instrument. So you have to make sure that your instrument...
That's what I say to Adam all the time. I say, Adam, you can strum your hand like this. That's not how my vocal cords work, okay? That's not how it works. But now I want to move over to, this is Buzzfeed, so this is likely to be just a terrible experience we're about to have here. But... It says 21 questions America has for Australians. Now, I'll vet these as we scroll down because some of these are just ridiculous. Sure. So the first one is, why is your money so colorful? It's currency, not a fact. I'm just going to leave it the question because what they like to do is they like to ask the question and then they make it just stupid after. So why is your currency so colorful?
I feel like I've been told this, but I can't remember. And part of... like my bullshitting side is telling me that it has something to do with, like, how do I put this? Not value per se, but like there's a distinct like reason as to why each color is this specific. Why each note is a specific color.
Okay.
But I can't remember what that reason is. Other than that, differentiation, so it's not all fucking green.
Yeah.
And we don't like mistrack something or something along those lines, but I feel like there's a specific reason as to why they're individual colors. And because like you guys have, I mean, it's not just colors as well, it's like the size of the notes and everything as well, because I'm pretty sure from memory in America you guys just have the one size.
Yeah, one size with a different dead guy on the front. Yeah,
correct. Whereas like we have like different sizes for each note, so like 5 is the smallest, 10 is the next one up, 20 is the next one up, 50 is the next one up.
And it looks... I like that there's different colors because, like you said, it's a perceived value. Like the 20 is more valuable than the 10, so it should be a different looking color. I like that. It's like
a viable kind of thing. Yeah,
I
feel like there's a specific like actual reason behind it, like why each color is what it is, but I can't remember what it is for the life of me, and maybe I'm wrong. So
interesting. And then it says here, why is it made out of plastic? Are they made out of plastic?
Yeah, it's made out of plastic.
Interesting. Why?
I don't fucking know. I think it's like
oh my God. You're supposed to be the correspondent here for Australia, and you're letting down your country.
I feel like these last 2 questions are questions that Matt or Paul would definitely know the answer to.
So why aren't they here?
Because Paul gets up in
10
2
minutes.
hours. while he gets up, I go to bed.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a proper reason as to why it's plastic too. I think again, I'm putting it down to differentiation from other currencies around the world, because a lot of currencies use paper. Plastic is more durable.
I would think that for like recyclable purposes, that would be less than ideal. But again, who would throw money away? But people do throw money away. But
I mean, it holds better when you're shooting shit up your nose.
okay, well, I'm going to edit that out. Let me put the timestamp down here. What are we at here for time? Okay, I'll make a mental note of that.
I'm kidding. Don't do drugs. That was bad. That was a bad comment.
Unbelievable.
Sorry.
I'm going to get kicked off the air. Okay, so then it shows here you have kangaroos on the $1 coin. Okay, but then it says why. So you can get like kangaroo kebabs, I'm seeing here. So why do you put your food on your currency?
I do know this one actually. It's because
you would, if this was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you would have lost a long time ago.
The kangaroo and the emu are like, I'm gonna butcher this so badly for any Australian watching. I'm so sorry. But it's part of our Commonwealth like insignia. The kangaroo and the emu are considered like sacred animals. I've never seen anybody go to cook and eat emu. But kangaroo, there was like I believe at the time, like there was a very dense, very big population, and that's why like the Aboriginals ate kangaroo and shit like that as well.
Bastards.
Sorry, I shouldn't say Aboriginals. I should say indigenous population used to eat kangaroos, from my understanding as well.
Bastards.
But I think they were also kind of like considered a sacred animal, same thing as the emus. But we don't fuck with the emus because we tried fucking with the emus back in like
they'll fucking kill you.
No, have you heard about the Great Emu War?
No. Okay. I'll go. Now, see, this is why I ask these questions, because now we'll get into interesting topics here. Okay.
It's a real thing. I think it was 2 or 3 army infantrymen got given, because we had a very large and very like pestish emu population.
Okay.
Because I think at the time they were almost considered pests. Like despite the fact that they are a sacred animal and they're on our like Commonwealth insignia. They were very pestish towards like livestock and farmers. And so the army sent out 3 infantrymen and got them to hunt emus over the course of like 2 years.
Jeez.
And we lost.
What? So you guys are pathetic. How are you going to lose to these birds?
Dude, they're fucking terrifying. Like they're like, oh, like I'm 5'5", but like,
are you afraid?
Yeah, and they run up to like 80 miles an hour or some shit like that.
Are you afraid now?
Yeah, I'm fucking terrified. Those things are fucking like, they may not fly, but they'll come at you like fucking fast. Like I've legitimately been driving out in like outback bush with family, and I've watched an emu keep up with us in the car. Like they're fucking terrifying. And like when they were in like the thousands, and they set up like, they literally sent out these 3 infantrymen with like a light machine gun to gun down these fucking emus, and we still lost. Like there was still too many emus for them to actually like take out, and so they just
Did anybody die?
And then a couple of years later, we had the Great Emu War 2, and they tried again, and we still failed. And I'm pretty sure at that point they just went, "Fuck it, the emus win. They own this land."
Did the emus kill anybody?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was going to say that would be.
No, they didn't kill anybody, but like their population size was just so dense and so big that like
just couldn't make your way through them.
Like try to put a sizable stint in the population growth of the emus. It was too much for 3 infantrymen with a light machine gun.
Oh my god!
That's how many emus there were. Like it was fucked.
Should have used the flamethrower. Should have used the flamethrower instead. Yeah.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No. But yeah. No. We lost both of those wars.
That's That's quite the legacy your country has over there. And then it says, there's another question here. It says, is anything available in your country? And there's a bunch of pictures of like YouTube videos not being available or different stuff not being available. What's going on with that? Is this North Korea you're living in?
Region locking stuff. And it's actually, from my understanding, it's not necessarily always our fault.
Interesting.
Sometimes stuff gets region locked to.
Was it Sumerian Records? Did they do this?
I think there's been a couple. Like it's not. Sorry,
they
it's
block
not
everything.
Sumerian.
They block everything.
Yeah, like it's not just Sumerian. Like it's other labels and shit like that as well. For whatever reason, stuff will get region locked to that specific country. Kind of like, you know how like in the olden days, because you're old.
Yeah. Very.
How you have like PAL and NTSC and all the different like video formatting stuff, and if you tried playing it in a different region or a different country, like it wouldn't work. Kind of similar kind of concept. Like stuff would just get region locked to whichever country it was from, and we couldn't access it. So
interesting.
I don't know what to tell you. I think sometimes it was our fault, sometimes it wasn't. You know, like I don't know.
Well,
it's one of those things that pisses me off too.
Well, if Warner Music Group is watching this, you guys are the biggest bastards when it comes to this stuff. They block everything. So I just wanted to know. Warner Music Group, you bastards. Okay. I'm sure they're going to watch this. How much bagged... I'll put it in the title. Warner Music Group are bastards. True Shot Guest Spot, episode 20, whatever. How much bagged wine do you people drink?
A fuckload. A fuck. And it's not, sorry, it's not bagged wine.
Okay.
It's goon.
It's what?
It's goon.
Goon?
G-O-O-N. Goon.
Like a silly person, a goon?
Yeah, like a goon. Yeah. Like, I'm a fucking goon from a TV's gangster show. Like, yeah, like a goon.
Because it makes them silly?
So, yeah, Fruity Lexia makes you sexier is a catchphrase that we always go by.
Unbelievable.
So, goon is like, it's not bagged wine, it's casked wine, and it's the way that wine is technically made and produced, and it's made like to be very quick. And you know how you go to like a liquor store, or in my case, a bottle-o, and you'll find like...
I don't drink, so no.
Oh, okay, fine. But like, you know how you can go into like a supermarket and find like $5 or $6...
Never been to a supermarket.
Can't... What do you...
Go ahead, sorry.
You find like those... Okay, anybody who's not Richard will know. Like you go to a supermarket or a bottle-o or a liquor store, sorry, and you'll see like the really cheap, like $4 to $7 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what goon is, but you buy it in like... It's worse quality than that, and you buy it in a fucking 4-liter bag.
Yeah.
And it comes in a big fucking pouch. Have you got a photo up that you can show the people?
I can. Hold on. I can. So what do I look up? Just goon?
I got it. Goon sack.
Goon sack.
Yep.
Sounds like a bad Tinder date.
It looks like this out of the box.
Okay, it's just waiting for it to focus. Back it up a little bit. Oh, there we go.
Up there we go.
What the hell is that? Oh, what the frig?
Yeah. People blow them up and use them as pillows at like festivals and shit like that because they're fucking useful. So yeah, my sister, her Instagram handle is like Goonbag McGee, and she and her friend actually have matching like best friend tattoos, and it's a goon sack.
You shouldn't give your sister's username out like that. There's a lot of sick people that probably listen to this.
That's true, but yeah.
Oh well,
it makes context. We'll bleep it out.
Yeah. And my sister's username. Beep. Yeah, we'll just do that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, she has a fucking goon bag tattoo on her leg.
Oh my god. Why did she get that? Why did she get that?
It's just a matching best friend tattoo kind of thing.
Who what is the circle of friends she's involved with? Don't you step in as the brother?
Heavy drinkers.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Next question here. Have you ever made it through a sentence without swearing? And there's a picture here that says, shitters fucked cunts.
That's so Australian. And fuck no. We swear in almost every sentence that we say. Like
you're a bad influence on me.
dude, to put it in perspective, one of like our parliament leaders called another parliament leader, or you guys have governments and like Republicans, Democrats.
Right.
This is our called another parliament leader a cunt in live parliament on TV because they broadcast that shit.
I think I think people should do that in America too.
Yeah, they should.
They should.
But it's way funnier. He tried to hide it and everybody laughed. Like even the fucking person was like trying not to laugh. Like he's just like it's like the opposition leader said something, and then Christopher Pyne is the parliament leader I'm talking about, said something back, and I don't know, there was a conversation, and just like under his breath, but still on the microphone because I have the lapel mics, he was just like, oh, you cunt. Like just into the microphone, and you could hear laughter like erupt, like nervous laughter erupt, and the gavel banger's just like, Mr. Pyne will refer to the opposition party leader by the correct term, please. I'm like, fuck off.
I love that.
Australian politics is fucked. We're fucked.
Well, I mean, if you guys can't beat emus, I mean, there's a lot of problems going on over there.
That's the army's problem. That's not Parliament's problem.
Well, aren't they connected though? Loosely, okay. Well, isn't Paul part of like he's a mechanic for one of these branches?
He's a mechanic for the Royal Australian Air Force.
So he's part of the problem, because if he was a better mechanic, they could probably have better, weapons, better vehicle, better just stuff to just.
He just makes sure that planes don't fall out of the sky when they go up. Like that's his job. He just wants to make sure that everything goes smoothly. Like he's not worried about making something new or anything like that.
Well, you guys need somebody to take on these birds. I mean, it's a bird. It's a bird. Anyways, let's move on to the next question, because these are fun. This is what the people wanted to tune into. They thought they were getting some Gloom in the Corner stuff, and we'll get to that. Yeah. But this is way more entertaining. Why are your pharmacies called chemists, and why don't they sell beer?
The fuck do you mean?
I guess it says right. Maybe they're wrong, but it says Australians cheapest chemist.
We still call it a pharmacy. Like it's just a type of store name. Like it's not a pseudonym. It's semantics at that point.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we don't sell liquor there because it's literally like all drugs, cosmetics, etc., like that kind of thing. And
interesting.
Prescription drugs and etc. We have specialized stores just like you guys, and they're called Bottle-Os. And that's where you can go buy all your alcohol. So
because America is full of sick people, and they can't just go to the pharmacy to get their prescription. They also need to wash with their freaking antipsychotic medications down with some beer so they're sick people over here. So
I mean we do that too, but we just separate them.
I like your idea better. I like your idea better of having separate entities for those things.
But yeah, like we have like big fucking imagine supermarket sized Bottle-Os. That's what we've got.
Yeah, we have a couple of those. We have like the statewide, like there's like these state liquor stores, and some of them are freaking massive.
Yeah, they're like a Costco almost.
Yeah,
like how big that.
Yeah, a bunch of AA meetings should happen in the basement. Why do you call? Why do you call ketchup tomato sauce and charge for it? It shows a picture here of the stuff in a little bowl, and it's 50 cents per tomato sauce.
I actually Googled this the other day.
Interesting.
Because we were talking about it at the dinner table.
Interesting.
Tomato sauce and ketchup are two different sauces.
Really?
Why do we charge? Yeah. Why do we charge for them? I don't know. It's dependent on store to store. If it's a privatized store, then they'll most likely sell a sachet for 20 cents or something like that. Like it's not like we're selling the fucking sachet squidgy things for like $2 or $3. Like we're selling them for like 10 to 20 cents.
Does Hungry Jack's charge for them?
No.
Okay, good.
No. So ketchup it's a different sauce to tomato sauce. I believe, if I'm getting this right, there's more sugar and artificial taste in ketchup as opposed to it's like the onion content as well is in ketchup.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So tomato sauce is very much more based around tomatoes and a more natural tasting flavor, whereas ketchup has like more onions. It's like not, it's bordering closer to barbecue sauce, but not barbecue sauce. And it still tastes like you put the two side by side and you're like, oh yeah, this is ketchup and this is tomato sauce. But like if you have one, it's like, oh, it doesn't really fucking matter which one you have.
Interesting. Okay. So this next one here, this is a term that's often used by the younger generation over here in the States to, so they can be cute when it's not very cute, but it seems like this is a commonly used phrase over there in Australia. It says, why do you call breakfast brekkie? And there's a brekkie sign right there for 6 a.m. at a Hungry Jack's right there.
Because we like to slang everything. Australians love to make slang words out of, or like just, what's the term? Compact words into like anything. Like we do it for bands, we do it for like Maccas, HJs.
So if you like to
everything.
If you like to do that, why in our group chat did you make TrueShot 2 words instead of 1?
Because it's what as in like TrueShot. That was my phone auto correcting.
Okay. Nice.
I thought you were talking about the shot. I thought you were talking about the shot of truth thing, and that was a reference to the document that I sent.
Right.
Like,
No. I meant the band name because it's very disrespectful to not spell the band name correctly. Yeah.
No, trust me, I know the feeling. Like whenever I see a fucking poster or like even a run sheet that doesn't have the first "the" in the Gloom in the corner, it shits me up the fucking wall. It's
well, you have a lot of words in your band name.
Yeah, it's understandable. You want to make us fit, but it's also like, come on, like,
right?
It's 3 extra letters. It's 4 fucking characters.
I know. You should have a thing in your contracts, like whenever you get booked for a show, that if they don't put up all the words, you get an extra like $50 per word they don't put on, or something like that.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah. Do you know how much money we would make from that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta make some money somehow.
One of 2 ways. It'll be we get a fuckload more money, or people get our name right on the poster.
And either way, it's a win.
Either way.
Yeah. And then this one here, I could probably answer this one for you, but it says, why are your large pizzas the size of our personal pizzas? And I'll tell you why, because Americans are fat bastards.
Americans are fat bastards. Yep. It was weird. Like I went to either an In-N-Out or like it was a Wendy's. And I posted a photo of this on Facebook, but like because I got a large, I've been in America for 2 weeks, and to be fair, when I'd gotten like large, medium, small, etc.
Oh, it's massive, especially
but like the medium size wasn't too much different from what it was in Australia, and so I said, oh fuck it, I'll just get like a large Coke or some shit like that. Fucking Wendy's fucking thing was like the size of my head.
Yeah, and it's diabetes in a freaking plastic bottle.
You got a number 9 large.
Yeah, no, especially Burger King here in the States, if you get a large drink, I'm telling it's literally like this big. It's fucking huge. I'm like, who drinks this?
That's fucked.
I'm like, that's enough calories for a day. What's that?
You got to make sure it's Diet Coke, though, because you got to watch them calories.
Well, you got the aspartame, though, you know. I see. I try not to drink soda. I'm kind of down to these 2. These are my 2 gimmicks now. I got water and coffee. Yeah. That's what I try to drink. Sprite every once in a while. I do like a good Sprite. Or ginger ale.
Yeah, ginger ale is good for your stomach, too.
Yeah.
It like settles your stomach.
Maybe I should give that to my cat. Do you think that would work?
No.
He's sleeping right now.
I don't think it will.
You don't think it'll work? Okay. Let's move on. So now this one here, it's showing apple pie, and it says ingredients, bees. What's going on with that? Is that a thing? Do you make your apple pies with bees? So it shows it right here. For those of you watching the video, it says ingredients, bees.
Oh, I don't know. Like, I'm actually... That one's got me dumbfounded. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know the context to that. I feel like some cunt just fucked up in the back.
Probably.
Probably just... You know what's funny? I just filled this fucking pie with bees.
This one here. This one is
it's like someone goes to like cook the fucking thing and just whole fucking swarm of bees and comes down and attacks this dude. He's like allergic to him as well. I don't know. That's an odd one.
That's an interesting
I feel
one. Okay, we'll have to do some more research on that one.
Yeah.
This one here is sad and also kind of timely, but it says, how, in quotes, high is your second lowest fire danger rating? And it shows a little wheel here, and you have, I think it says very low and then high. So I'm waiting for it to focus. Come on.
Come on. Oh, your phone. I know the rating that you're talking about. Yeah,
it says low, moderate, high. Yeah, go ahead.
It's basically up to the dark red one. It's like a warning as to whether or not you should probably light a fire, and this is from my understanding. If you're in the blue to greeny yellow kind of area and you want to have like a backyard, you want to set up your backyard fire pit because there's a lot of them, especially in country Victoria, or you want to do like a controlled burn, then you're probably okay. If it's like yellow through to those reds, it's like I probably fucking shouldn't. And the dark red one is like evacuate the town.
So what is it? Just like super dry over there? Is it like what's going on over there? Is it just super dry?
Yeah, like especially in the summer. Like Victoria had a really bad bushfire. It was Black Saturday. It was either Black Wednesday or Black Saturday. I can't remember which one it was. I was alive for it though. Because we had a really bad one back in the 70s and 80s, and from my understanding, I think that one was a tried to be controlled burn. But just drastically got out of hand, like they just miscalculated it kind of thing.
Jeez.
And Black Saturday, which I think was the one that I was around for, because I would have been about 10 at the time, was like some dumb cunt, and I mean cunt viciously.
In a bad way, yeah. A bad cunt. Oi cunt. That's what, yeah. Yeah.
Like set off like a firecracker or something like that in a very highly flammable environment, and it wiped out so much of country Victoria. Like don't get me wrong, it was nowhere near as bad as the bushfires that we had at the start of last year. Those were fucked. Like those were burning for like
forever,
4 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's like we drove through like, I think it was like Brisbane or Sydney or some shit like that. Yeah, it was going up to Brisbane at some stage, even in like, I think it was like September, October. And even then, like, it was fucked. Like, we went through areas that had been desolated by fire, and it was like, like how you see like a scene in a movie where like there's just been like a battle, or like
I've never seen a movie before.
Richard, help me out here. Go along with it. Yeah, so like like those scenes in movies where you just see like a desolate, bleak wasteland, like that's what it was like. And the fly was just like orangey, burnt red. It was super smoky. Like, didn't need a cigarette that day because I could just walk outside and inhale the fucking exhaust from what's
Christ.
Yeah, like, and that was even like, that was October, and that was when they'd been burning for like a couple of months, I think, at that point. But yeah, it was fucked. Like, we have like, we call like, so far I don't think it's been too bad because like the weather's been very, very hit and miss.
Yeah.
At least down here, because we're halfway through to January and it's like 15 degrees outside when it should be about 25. To put that into calculation,
Celsius, right? Though, yeah, Celsius. Okay.
Not like 15 Fahrenheit. We're not like fucking.
That's what it's like over here. It's freezing here.
Yeah, it's freezing. Like, it's, yeah. We just have really bad bushfire seasons, and those ones that happened last year just got really fucking out of control. And they burned and burned and burned and burned. And I think from memory, what initially started it was they wanted, because we do controlled burnings ahead of fire season to try and like alleviate how much it'll
right.
Yeah. It's become such a regular thing for Australians to have bushfires that will try and like decimate some of the wildlife beforehand, so that when bushfire season does come around, there's nothing for the fire to actually burn, and it will dissipate a lot quicker. but that like September, October area just turned out to be a really hot September, October. And the controlled burnings just like went way out of control and just fucking obliterated everything up the fucking East Coast. Like it was cooked. Like it was seriously fucked.
Yeah, that's crazy that you have to like you literally have to have these controlled burns just to try to limit the amount of damage that it will do if one happens that you're not anticipating. That's fucking crazy.
Exactly. And like it's like, oh, it's not as bad as like the American fires that happen on the West Coast or the Californian fires and shit like that. But people don't understand that, like, from the area that the Californian fires decimated, like that small portion of America, that's our entire East Coast. Like,
well, listen, the Californians can stand to have a little bit of tragedy every once in a while. Those bastards they live in their own utopia over there. You know, they need a little bit of reality every once in a while. So you know what? If we got to burn down a couple forests to get them off of Silicon Valley and all that nonsense, you know what? It's worth it. But no, like you said, California is like the size of your East Coast.
Yeah, pretty much from Sydney, like where the main portion of the fires happen, from like Northern Victoria, which is the state that I'm in. I'm not in Northern Victoria, I'm in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But like all the way up to like Brisbane and shit like that, even inland, like that's basically the size of the West Coast.
Yeah.
So imagine the entire West Coast on fire and you're putting it into a much bigger perspective. Like,
yeah.
And we lost so much wildlife as well, like not just trees, but like animals and endangered animals. Like
any emus?
The cow. Yeah, actually, that Great Emu War, we probably won. I shouldn't have said that. That was bad.
There we go. We won. But, finally got the W. Okay, go ahead.
We'll take the W on that one. But like, no, like in all seriousness, like we lost like 7 billion animals in that fire or in that general.
Jesus Christ!
Fucking lot.
Yeah.
Like
that's a lot.
That's a lot. Like that's a fucking lot of that. Like it's a fucking lot of wildlife to lose. Like there's a reason why like it was a big like.
Oh, it definitely is a big deal. But as long as the spiders got killed, then that's what matters to me because I don't like spiders.
I love spiders.
What? What do you?
Sorry, I love types of spiders. Daddy long legs, like those little fucking not quite arachnid motherfuckers that just kind of like take out like small bugs and shit like that, but can't actually harm you because they can't pierce through human skin. Like they're fine. Like they're cool. I'm pretty sure there's a couple sitting in here right now. But at my mum's house for the last few months, yeah, fuck, he's been around for a while now. For the last few months, we actually have a house pet called Humphrey, and he's this big fucking huntsman spider.
I don't.
That just kind of owns the house and just traverses around wherever he kind of fucking feels like it. But yeah, he's been there for a few months now.
You sick people. Okay,
so, where were we? Where were we? The bushfires.
Yeah, the bushfires. Because we're recording now. We're back. Mikey's Australian internet. The Australian Parliament kicked him off. The ministry. I don't know what they call it over there in Australia, but they kicked him off. They had enough of his slander towards the country, and they shut him down for a minute. But we're back on a secure line here, and Mikey's in a remote location that cannot be tracked by Australian authorities because. He is protected by emus. So go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a full description.
Shout out TPG for having shoddy routers and providing me with shithouse connection. Like the actual router itself died. That's what my concern was.
Oh,
but yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's been really spotty all night, and I don't know why. But anyway.
Anyway,
it is what it is.
So what were you rolling over there? Is that a legal substance?
No, this is a cigarette. This is a rolled cigarette.
Unbelievable.
Just tobacco.
Why do you smoke that? You know, I want you to be around for a long time, Mikey, and I'm afraid that you're not gonna be if you keep smoking that stuff.
Joke's on you, maybe. I don't want to be around for a long time.
Well, don't say that because now YouTube's gonna demonetize us for self-harm or whatever.
I love that response though. When everyone's like, "Why are you smoking's bad for you?" It's bad. I'm like, "Yes, I know it's bad. Addiction is a thing." Like
now, as we wind down here on these ridiculous BuzzFeed questions, these are just interesting. But this one here, when I first saw this is the most jarring thing on this list. And if this is true, This is a serious problem. Why do your pigeons look like this?
That's not a pigeon.
Oh, what
That's
is
an
it?
ibis.
That looks more terrifying than an emu.
It's another native Australian bird that mainly sticks to like billabongs or water sources and stuff like that. And that's why their beaks are so long, so they can get like fish and shit like that.
It looks like it's in like a city. It looks like it's in like a city area, like on a sidewalk.
Yeah, we still get them around the city and stuff like that. Yeah. But we don't necessarily call them ibises. We call them bin chickens because more likely than not, we will see them going for garbage.
So they're like gulls over here, like seagulls. Like they're like because so we have. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
We have seagulls too, but like they're just like the big fucking seagulls with like.
Those things are way more terrifying than emus. That's what I would be.
They're really not. They're only like, oh, fuck! I've got nothing to compare it to. Like they're really like
the size of a big cat.
Yeah, size of a big cat. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Like a big tabby. Yeah, they're not very big.
I like it. I like them though. I mean, I do like the big beak. I kind of want to pick them up by the beak and swing them around like this. You know what I mean?
And now we're being demonetized for animal cruelty, Richard. So
that's fine. But I don't know. When I see a beak like that, I just picture like, you know that song North Carolina.
Oh my god!
You remember that?
Yeah,
song?
look, I'm sure I'm sure there has been some drunk fuckwit that's come across one in the city and probably done that.
A goon.
A goon. Yeah.
See, I'm learning. See, this is
a goon.
We're gonna be moving to Australia, the band. So I gotta get updated on the lingo. So
on the lingo.
Yeah,
that's not very good lingo. So
okay, well, you know, I'm getting there. It's been 50.
You'll quickly figure out that like everything is slang.
It's been 15
legitimately
minutes.
every word that you can think of there's pretty much a slang word for it.
Interesting. I kind of like that. It's like Kevin from The Office. It's like, why say more word when less word do good? You know.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay. And then it says here, and how is the one creature that can't kill you outlawed? So it's a bunny. It says if you kill it, or I can't tell if that's a bunny or whatever it is, but it says there's a fine
rabbit,
a rabbit, 30
rabbit.
30 grand max penalty. What's going on with that?
Yep. So rabbits are considered pests over here. They devour wildlife and were very detrimental towards farmers. Similar kind of thing as the emu. Difference is they are a introduced pest. So they were brought over from England or Europe or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And so they're not considered a sacred animal over here. So we have like, it's a free for all pretty much. Which is such a shame because rabbits are actually like my favorite animal.
I love rabbits.
And yeah, they're my dad's favorite animal as well. And like he grew up with rabbits. I grew up with rabbits, but that's where the rabbit hole thing came from as well. But also, they're not illegal per se. They're illegal to have free roam. So like just pretty much run free from my understanding. But because they breed really fucking quickly, they're really hard to control. And there is a disease that was introduced into mosquitoes, and it's called myxomatosis. Basically, it'll like if a rabbit gets stung by it or gets stung by a mosquito with myxo, which I'm pretty sure like 99% of the fucking mosquito population now has, then it's pretty much like giving the rabbit cancer. Like it will kill it within like 3 to 4 weeks, and there is an antidote to it, but it's not allowed to be given to the general public. I believe you can get it for rabbits if the rabbit has been neutered, so it can't reproduce.
What?
But
Wow.
yeah, it's to stop rabbit overpopulation, despite the fact that they're pretty much considered like domestic animals now, especially in the city. Like I rarely see rabbits like just running around the streets of the city.
Interesting.
I think it's pretty bullshit considering that I'm pretty oh no, Jack wasn't neutered, was he? Because we had one of his grandkids.
Wait, you had a rabbit named Jack?
Yeah.
It's very unoriginal. I just want you to know that.
Well, Jack Rabbit.
I know. Very unoriginal. Yeah. Mikey, come on.
He was a cute little fucking bunny. He was an absolute cunt,
right.
but it's a cute little bunny. But yeah, so it's very sad because obviously, like Me personally, if I had another rabbit, I would want to give it the antidote to Mixo, but I'm pretty sure it's a legality thing, and if we are to get it, then we'd have to neuter the rabbit.
Jesus.
So, yeah, because they're considered, like, even though they are pets, they are considered pests. So
yeah, it's pretty common to see like bunnies, or I don't know if they're rabbits, but there's like bunnies that run around here all the time. Like I see them probably daily. They're just running around free. It's pretty cool.
I don't know. You guys might have the Mixo thing as well for mosquitoes. I'm not sure.
That's
honestly,
I never knew about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
and
that's why.
And the last thing I'll ask you about before we move on to less important subjects. This is obviously the main reason why we're here today. And what is the deal? What is the deal with Vegemite?
What do you clarify?
I don't know. That's just what the question says. I don't know. Is this like a?
It says what's up with Vegemite?
It's concentrated yeast extract. What the hell is that? I never heard of this. I mean, I've heard of Vegemite, but I've never consumed it.
It's a spread. Same thing as peanut butter. Like, I'm honestly, me personally, as this is going to sound very un-Australian, but I'm not the biggest fan of peanut butter. Sorry, not peanut butter. Vegemite. Like, I'm not the biggest Vegemite fan. I never really liked Vegemite.
What does it taste like?
Honestly, it's been that long since I've had it that I couldn't tell you. But like, I'm one of those people where it's like I smell, like, it's one of those things I can smell it and I'll immediately go, "That's Vegemite."
Do they have it at Hungry Jack's?
No.
Okay.
No. No. It's very much like a, you know how you guys will have like peanut butter on toast or like butter on toast. Like, it's very much similar kind of spread, or marmalade, or actually no, marmalade's an English thing. Don't worry.
Marmalade. What?
Marmalade.
It's too many.
Do you guys have marmalade?
I know. I don't like. I know what it is. I've heard of it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like, how do I explain marmalade? It's basically like jelly.
It's like, yeah, it's like a
more,
jam kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like jelly jam, if that makes sense. But it's a very British thing.
Yeah. Well, those people are out of their
marmalade's
minds.
awesome. Well, I haven't had marmalade in fucking years either, actually. But it's basically a condiment. Same thing as like peanut butter. Like, it's just an Australian thing, but I've never been a big fan of it.
Yeah. I wonder what the most like sane country is, because like I feel like everywhere is kind of nuts, but I wonder like what one is like. Yeah, this is like just relaxed. Probably Amsterdam.
Every country is nuts in its own kind of way. If you really think about it, Amsterdam's kind of nuts for just having like,
well, yeah, the drugs and everything.
Strip shows in the street, accessibility to drugs, like,
right.
It has its own kind of craziness, but like everybody who lives there is accustomed to the craziness. Same thing with us here. We're used to all of the wildlife wanting to kill us.
Yeah, that's very unsettling to think about. But yeah. So, all right, now let's move into the music stuff, because the people are hopefully they were entertained by that. If not, well, I don't know what to tell you. Interview Mikey on your own time. So we'll
Please don't.
So I just recently talked to Jeff, who is your manager, and so I was asking him kind of about how, because obviously he manages you guys and Left to Suffer, which, by the way, you know, I see you and Taylor posting statuses about each other, and I get a little jealous. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm like, I want somebody to post a status about me, but you know, nobody does. That's okay, maybe someday. But you know, I was talking to Jeff, and I was like, how is that managing a band that is literally not even remotely close versus a band that's down the street from you in Left to Suffer?
Mm-hmm.
And so what is it like from your point of view? Yeah.
So this is where I'm going to take my little dart break, and I'll send you a little image of me smoking. You can put in the fucking interview.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's interesting. Like, we basically use Jeff as like our liaison content creator. And we have meetings similar to like what we're having now.
Yeah.
Where we'll just go through shit and like we'll figure out content of like what we want to do. And thankfully, thanks to the wonders of the internet, that's been made very, very, very easy. And it's pretty easy to just kind of like, you know, just give Jeff a ring or etc.
Right.
Yeah, and just get his opinion on things. So yeah, like It's pretty easy.
What are you doing? Using the
As far
bathroom
as
over
having him
there?
as a manager, he's awesome. Pardon?
It sound like some water dripping. You using the bathroom?
Yeah, I'm filling up my water bottle as well.
Oh, okay. So I just
Yeah.
didn't know if you were peeing, because then we would have to get the camera over there.
No, I'm filling up a water bottle. What do you mean? So, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So yeah, like he's pretty easy to like work with.
Yeah.
He gets the, you know, like I mean, that we're all the way on the other side of the fucking world.
Right.
But yeah, like, I'm just thinking, like, what is it like working with Jeff now? Because it's mainly very much more so like Matt's thing as well. Like I've talked to Jeff like a number of times, obviously.
Right.
But like Matt's very much the one who's more so in contact, and they very much just bounce off, like they more or less just bounce ideas off each other, like you would like a regular manager, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's like, yeah, it's very, like, as I said, thanks to the internet, it's very easy to work with him. Like we just schedule calls, figure out what we want to do, etc., that kind of thing. So
yeah, well, because you guys are obviously a concept band, so what is that like, having a manager who, you know, he came in and he obviously wasn't part of the original concept for the band. Is there ever any like conversations where it's like you're trying to relay him like an idea that you have for it, and how does that go? Because obviously it's different from like a, you know, not that Left to Suffer in a bad way, but you know, a more like kind of I don't want to say a normal band, but you know what I mean, like a non-concept band where it's just like a more traditional maybe content style or a rollout of stuff, whereas you guys are very concept based. What is that ever kind of interesting with somebody who wasn't a part of the original idea for it, or?
No, he's very much on board with it. And I think it's part of the reason why he took us on as well, because it was such a different project compared to like what he's done before.
Right.
Like you look at the roster of what like he's worked with. You look at band like notably like the last concept kind of band that he worked with was Sworn In.
Yeah.
Because their record, The Love Is a Devil, and even Death Card was a concept record. But like as far as like having like a full on like basically Netflix series styled concept band, come to him, like he was very keen to take it on board, because we were like, without kind of like blowing smoke up my own ass, very different to what like a lot of other people and like what a lot of other concept bands have done, or at least to the caliber that he's worked with. Obviously there's a lot of concept bands out there, like you look at Coheed and Cambria, Alisana, Defeater, like you look at all those, and he basically just looked at it and said, this is like a heavy metalcore version of all those bands, and like he loved a lot of those bands like when he was coming through the scene and shit like that too.
Right.
But yeah, as far like he's very much like what's the term, on board with the story and the concept and everything like that. Like he hasn't had a word yet on like what the story should be like and the direction it should go. He's very much left that up to us, and he's very much aware of the fact that it's going to be left up to us. And he's just happy to go along with what the story is and he's happy to help out where he can, kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm looking here at your chair, and it looks like the pads on your armrest are a little deteriorated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Are your arms and elbows okay? I just want to make sure.
My left elbow is absolutely fucked because I didn't put enough padding on it.
Well, yeah, it doesn't even. It looks for the people watching the video. I mean, it looks. What happened? What did you do? Bite it? Did you get hungry in the studio and just started eating the chair?
No. So that chair itself, I procured from my university that I went to for sound engineering.
Gotcha.
Because they were chucking it out. Because the armrests themselves, like all the original padding off them had been torn off.
Yep.
For whatever reason, either they just deteriorated over time or someone ripped them off. I'm guessing it's probably the latter. And so I fixed them up by putting soundproofing foam onto them, thinking that would work. And for the most part, it's done me fine up until recently, where the soundproofing proofing foam has just kind of withered away and died.
Well, okay. Listen, I just want, because we're friends, and I'm trying to just make sure that you're okay. Because I know that you're in there for long hours. I want to make sure that you're eating properly. No Vegemite down there. I don't know if you put that. I don't know if you put that on the chair.
No Vegemite up in this bitch. No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure you're doing okay. Anyways, so I talked to Jeff about, we talked about the album versus single stuff, and you guys are kind of in a precarious position, because I think not like a normal band, but like I would recommend that they go the singles route, but you guys are very concept driven, so it's almost like you need that album entity, so to speak.
Richard?
Oh boy.
Do you remember our last interview?
No.
When Adam just straight up said, "You're wrong."
No, I don't.
Well,
what did he say?
He said, "You're wrong."
About what?
Again.
Well, because he's very old. Okay, he's very old. He's very old. I mean, he's used to Walkmans, so I don't take any advice from him. So what did he say I was wrong about?
I don't know. He said you were wrong about something. I can't remember what it was. But reiterating what Adam said, honestly, us being a concept band. And where's my microphone and camera? The single thing actually works in our favor, and we tested it with Ultima.
Yeah.
To see how it went, and it went swimmingly. Not as swimmingly as we hoped, but we put that down to COVID.
You're right, right.
Yeah, but the single thing definitely more so works in our favor as a concept band, because we can just release songs like they're episodes in a TV series, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. But does that... So, like, say you have... So, obviously, I know that you're working... You said... You had told me before we came on here that you kind of have the pre-production pretty much done. Is that what you said? Or the writing stuff is kind of done? Okay.
Writing's done, pretty much, yeah.
But doesn't that kind of skew how you'd go about releasing different songs? Because like you could have a song that is like the strongest one that should be the first single, but it's maybe the fourth episode in the series. I'm using quotes for people watching for people listening on audio. Yeah. So does that skew the releasing though?
No, not at all.
Okay, well maybe I'm just overthinking this.
People are more concerned about, like, in my opinion, people are more concerned about like the singles. How do I put this? Like, without it kind of contradicting what I'm saying. I think that, like, at least in our eyes, because I know the record back to front.
Right.
Us releasing, if we were to perhaps release episode 1 as the intro, episode 2 as song X, episode 3 as song Y, etc., etc., etc. It makes more sense in our favor because all the songs are in proper chronological order this time. There's no jumping around.
Right.
So, in our eyes, it works better for us to release each song as it goes on the record. And we have a blueprint per se as to how that would work.
Gotcha.
Do you know the band Sleep Token?
Yes.
Yes. So their last record, Sundowning, they released every song in order pretty much every 2 weeks, with a little few breaks in between. So if you look at the track listing, like the first song that dropped, which is the Night one, The Night Belongs to You, I think it's called. That song dropped first. Then after that was The Offering, and then after that was whichever fucking song came next. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, like that whole periodic thing of like, just because it's not the leading track off like an album cycle doesn't necessarily like cater, because the way that I see it is they're two very different releasing methods. If we were to release the record, as you said, like with the strongest songs first, then yes, everything would come out of order. Like we go with track. X, Y, Z. In like that order, like we'd lead with the strongest. But because if we were to perhaps release songs chronologically as they would go on the record, each release is like another episode in the chapter, and you'll find out what's next in the next song, etc., like that kind of thing. So we wouldn't worry about having to think about per se what song is the strongest, etc., that kind of thing, because it's a different style of releasing.
Right.
Same thing with Ultima. Like you look at Ultima, like Violence is the opener, and then you look at, Violence is the opener. That was the first song that we did. It gets the ball rolling, kind of thing, and then as like with each song release, it pushes the stream numbers of those previous songs up, and people are more likely to catch the attention of a song being released every 2 weeks, kind of thing, as opposed to single 1, single 2, single 3, couple weeks album, because like COVID especially, and I don't think it's going to change anytime soon thanks to the human brain, people just aren't really prepared to listen to albums in their entirety anymore.
Nope.
They want to listen to, like, yeah, sure, maybe they'll listen through it once, but they'll listen to those few songs that initially came out the most.
Right.
Case in point, Akadama with Alpha Wolf. Like, their biggest song, straight up, their biggest song, and it was the first song that they dropped.
Right.
Like, I couldn't name another song off that record, to be honest.
Oh, Sabian, if you're watching this, I have no part in that. I have no part in what Mikey said there. I think that you guys did a great job. This is all.
No, I legitimately, I listened through that record the once. There is a specific reason as to why I probably haven't listened to that record, and it's nothing to do with them personally. It's actually very much more so a me thing.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. To me, I think that with them, I know we're kind of going off a little bit of a sidebar here, but for me, it's like they're all heavy songs, but I just like these 3 heavy songs more than the other 6 heavy songs.
Yeah.
That's kind
of... No, like, for me, it's like, this is very much more an Australian thing, I think.
Okay.
At least, like, Alpha Wolf right now are the charging force for Australian heavy music. Like, if you're going to, besides Polaris.
Right.
But for, like, the smaller underground scene,
it's Alpha Wolf.
It's Alpha Wolf. It's 100% Alpha Wolf. You look at bands like no disrespect to Polaris, but you don't really see many bands coming out and trying to rip off Polaris because they're doing a sound that's like very mainstream, but also very metalcore. Maybe my opinion will change of that within the next like year or two after people try to rip off the Death with Me. But like with Alpha Wolf, ever since Mono dropped, like people have been trying to, at least in the Australian scene, from what I've seen, been trying to copy Alpha Wolf, and a lot of bands have been compared to Alpha Wolf just because of sound, etc., image, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And that's why I really haven't listened to the record like at all, because I'm very much aware of the fact that I take influence from any sort of music that's going on around me, and I know that if I listen to Alpha's record,
it'll make its way into your writing process.
It'll make its way into our music. And we already copped it with Villain. Like, it's like every like fucking second comment or like every like partial review is like for fans of Alpha Wolf, or for like, It's like, oh, you can compare this sound to Alpha Wolf. And it's like, we don't want to be compared to Alpha Wolf at all. Like, don't get me wrong, I can see the comparison with Villain. But like, I'm also very much like, I don't want to be like shoehorned into that category.
Yeah, you don't want to be another Australian metalcore band, which you mean you are. But I mean, like, I think when people think of Australian metalcore, they think of like the Alpha Wolf style.
Alpha Wolf, Thornhill, Polaris, like those are the top 3 to me that are leading the charge at the moment.
Right.
At least for the heavy stuff. But yeah, like that's the main reason why I haven't listened to it, because I'm very much aware of the fact that I'm going to take influence from it. And like when I was listening through that album, I'm like, I can't listen to this record. I can't listen to this record again. Like I know that I'm going to take influence from it.
Right.
Because there are some, like, don't get me wrong, there are some really it's a really fucking cool record, and it's a good record. It's a very solid record.
Yeah.
Like especially from them. Wait, that sounds bad. Why did I say it like that? No, that's not what I meant.
I'm gonna sound clip that at the beginning of the podcast. That's gonna be the first thing people hear.
Time out. That's not what I meant. Like, not from them. I like, it's a very solid heavy metal release. Like, you know, there's a reason why it's a lot of people's number one's record for this year. And I fully understand that. But as I said, I listened through that record when it first came out, and I'm like, fuck, I can't listen to this again. Otherwise, I'm going to start taking influence from it, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear these people next door, these mindless idiots over here that are just hammering away at because they're working on the apartment next to mine. So they're hammering, they're drilling. I don't know if you can hear it, but people at home can hear it. My noise gate's probably working, so that's a good sign. But yeah, these freaking jackals over here. I don't know what to call them, but anyways, yeah, no, I mean, Alpha Wolf was my number. It was my number 5. Just because, yeah, like I had said, I just there was some heavy songs that I really, really liked, and then there were some other heavy songs, but I just go back to the main ones. But anyways, enough about Alpha Wolf. You're not Sabian. I've tried to get him on the podcast. He keeps dodging me. So if he's listening to this, Sabian, what the hell? Come on. What the worst that I'll do is just get some leaked information from you. That's the worst that'll happen.
You tricked me into it. 13th November. Me. Fuck.
Yeah. Hold on. Somebody's knocking at my door. One second. Hold on. One second.
Sure. Yeah, do your thing. Dun, 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 dun,
What Alpha Wolf song is that?
Bleed for You.
That's Rotten Pieces right there. My girlfriend's phone came in the mail, so it's like, just like, I want these people to leave me alone. Everybody, I'm doing.
What you get? What you get?
The iPhone Pro, whatever, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, supercharged Emu. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to do so much editing for this. God damn it! No, no, it's fine.
Put a fucking note. What have we done so far? My sister's Instagram handle.
I know
so much shit.
Yeah, but yeah. So okay. So going back to you guys, so people can essentially from here on out, it sounds like when you guys drop a single, they can anticipate this is number 1 track on this album. The second single is number 2. Okay, I gotcha. But so does that influence you guys' writing at all? Because you at the same time you're like, we know that we're going to release this one first, so should we make this one a little bit more first single sounding? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I think more so like once we were refining stuff, it very much did. Yeah. I think like because besides the intro, the first 4 tracks are pretty much like character introduction / reintroductions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for people who haven't fucking figured it out because they haven't watched the Requiem video, the next record's centered around Rachel, Ethan, and Clara and the rabbit hole, and DeGraver back on Earth. So those 4 characters are coming back. Ethan's got a shiny new set of armor, and he doesn't go by Revenant anymore. He goes by the Ronin. So yeah, like those first 4 tracks are pretty much reintroduction tracks. And so we were very much conscious, I think, and of course we have the intro track, which is the scene setter, and that's the one I think that's going to throw people the most because they're not going to expect it. Most people, for me, when people be like, "Oh, you're going to hell on the next record," it's like, yes, but it's not going to sound like every other generic deathcore, metalcore band going to hell of just straight fucking breakdowns and blast beats.
Yeah,
and
right,
shit.
right.
It's not gonna be what you expect. So to be honest, the first single on the record, I can't even really compare it to another song that we've put out. but like those first four, like those first four tracks, like those introductory tracks, are very much like, it's like, okay, well, this is opening the record kind of thing. Like, how do we want it to ebb and flow? And so I think we did a pretty good job of kind of like ebbing and flowing.
Right.
And the way that I put it, or the way that Jeff put it actually, was when Ethan's track comes in, it grabs you by the throat and doesn't let you go until like the last track of the record.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So, but like all the story stuff in between that kind of like carries, that's more so my general kind of style of writing, of it's based off events in the story. So there'll be chaotic stuff, there'll be softer stuff, there'll be more mainstream stuff.
By the way,
then, yeah.
I was just gonna say, a little bit ago you were really gazing straight into the camera. I just want to say that was very seductive. I just want you to know that. There we go. Well, you don't be doing this. You don't have a beard anymore. I'm very disappointed about that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm very disappointed too. I did the mustache thing on like the 1st of January, and I looked at myself in the mirror and went, "Fuck."
You look like the people that I see in the crime shows when they're like you look like the criminal they're coming after. That's what you look like without the beard. I'm trying to shame you.
I mean, I was going for like Bronson, as in like Tom Hardy in that film.
No, you need the beard back.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm very disappointed by that. I hope that your record numbers suffer because of that. I just want you to know. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, and then I think like with the last track as well, like I spent kind of like what I did with Requiem, like I spent a lot of time kind of getting that track as perfect as I could, because I knew that it was going to be like a big fucking finale track for the record. Like,
yep.
You know how Famous Last Words by My Chem is kind of like their big fucking send-off track for the record.
Yep.
Similar kind of vein, not sound-wise or anything like that, but just like similar vein of like wanting to make sure that this is a fucking send-off. And we want to make sure that like we close the record properly, because there's nothing I fucking hate more than getting to the end of a fucking record and it's like...
It's a throwaway track.
It's a throwaway, like half-assed track.
Yeah, all the time. It's like every time I go to a closer track, whenever I'm doing like an album reaction review thing, I'm just like, yeah, that's probably gonna be just kind of just a thing that exists for no real reason other than we need a closer track. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the best closing tracks I heard recently, even though it's not a recent release, was the closing track on Day Seeker's record, not the last
Sleep in the Sea?
But the one before that.
Is it Sleep in the Sea? Is that the name of it? Yeah.
Sleeping is Sinking, Waking is Rising. That's it. Waking is Rising. That closing track's fucking nutty. I love that closing track.
I will say
same thing with like Johnny's Rebellion, like from Crown the Empire, and there was another really fucking good one that I can't remember now, but I had it a second ago. But yeah, I think like those kinds of structures I try to stick to.
Yeah.
Like just those first initial tracks, and then make sure that like the record closes off properly, kind of thing. But yeah, I guess that's kind of like the only influence in that regard. Like thinking about it in like if we were to do it in a single by single basis, we might not. In which case, we might choose track 7, 4, 6. I don't know, something like that. But
it could be like Star Wars. You could start with the last episode, and then 20 years later release the first one. You could do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
That could be your album cycle. You could extend your album cycle every 10 years instead of 2. That'd be good.
Yeah. Then we'll get Ryan Johnson and a whole heap of other directors to do the last trilogy, and we'll completely butcher it.
Yeah, it's interesting because first I'll talk to you about our award show, because Derek and Adam inadvertently disparaged your band's good name, and I was very disappointed by that. But we're working on a song that's very cinematic-y kind of based, and it's interesting trying to write lyrics to kind of correspond with events. It's interesting. It's a lot of fun. It's a much more of a mental exercise rather than just a kind of a vague, not like a vague concept, but just kind of like a, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think I struggled with it a little bit at the start, but you once you kind of get into the groove of it, like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of get that character's like mindset, and you just kind of like you go from there.
Yeah.
Like Sherlock was a really fun one to do because like I can just be as fucking chaotic evil as I like.
Yeah.
And like yeah, I think. I'm not going to say who my favorite character is on the next record because I want it to be a surprise. But yeah, like it's like it's one of those things. Once you get into that mindset, like you're pretty like once you get into the what's the term? Like
the
you get
rhythm.
into you get into the rhythm of it. Like it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually take back Derek disparaging your good name because he had you guys on his top because we did like top.
He said some nice things.
Yeah, he was fine. I apologize, Derek. Well, actually, no, I don't apologize because I'm sure you'll do something later that'll be bad, and we'll just go back to this as your punishment. Anyways, we did.
It was called basic things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we did the top EPs, and I had you guys at number 2, for Pluvia, and Adam didn't even think to. Anything you'd like to say to him?
Can't believe you dogged us, man.
You want me to call him again?
No, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, it's kind of like award shows and those kinds of things. And I mean this with no disrespect. The same thing that you think about with the Grammys.
Listen,
the Weeknd got robbed.
To me, it's just
the Weeknd got robbed.
It's just content. It's all content for the YouTube algorithm. We got to feed into it.
Yeah.
But
of course,
I think part of it. I don't think Adam did it intentionally. I think he's just he's a few French fries short of a Happy Meal from Hungry Jack's, if you know what I mean.
No, but like when he said like I honestly don't remember any releases from this year, I felt that in my soul.
Well, that's just that's a cop out in my opinion.
No, like I legit know. Like you look at this year. Like, I was talking about it with someone the other day. Like, you look at this year, and I just realized, like, I did the Spotify 2020 Wrapped thing,
yeah,
and said you've only listened to like 8,000 hours of music, and like last year it was like 36.
Oh my god!
And I was like, yeah, like I listened to a lot of music this year. I just haven't had the fucking drive to do it because like generally when I listen to like records or releases, I'll put it on in the car when I'm driving somewhere, whether I'm driving to a mate's place, driving to work, etc. Like I'll put it on, but I haven't been out of the fucking house. Like,
well, so that's funny you say that because when people were like, "Oh, this is the time to release music," because I think that you should release music no matter what. But people's rationale for it was that people are home. I'm like, people don't really listen to music like at home. Like they just
correct. I don't think they listen to full records while at home.
I don't even listen to music at home though, singles or anything. I mean, where are you gonna do? Where are you gonna listen to it? Your phone? Like, I mean, it's just like it's a car thing. Yeah, yeah. Well, if you have like a studio set up with the speakers, but like in my apartment here, I would just listen to like a podcast or something like that. If I'm at home, I'm not gonna sit there and listen to music. That's a car thing for me.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're not going out, you're not driving anywhere, it makes it like it's just can't be fucked. Like, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's just because I think I hate listening to especially heavier music like on iPhone speaker. It sounds like garbage. I mean,
shit.
Yeah, it's like I saw a meme once that was like I've spent all this time and all these hours on this music for people to listen to it on iPhone headphones, and that's so true because. You sit there and you get the mix back, and you want to listen to it in the car. You listen to it on the studio monitors, and then everybody just listens to it in iPhone headphones, which I have right now because this is my second pair of headphones that have broken. So I'm very upset with Sweetwater. I'm very upset with them.
Fair enough.
I'm very upset with them. But my guy Skylar's hooking me up. What's that?
What were they? Were they?
These are Behringer. I can't remember. It's like HCN 2000s or something like that.
I think I had Behringer or AKG set that died on me recently as well. It's just the lower. Get some Audio Technicas. It might change your position on wanting to listen to music at home.
Yeah, well, I told him, I said, listen, man, I got to return these, and I want to use it as a credit towards something that's not complete junk every time I buy them, because it's like every time I unplug them, they just don't want to work. But
here's my Audio Technica plug, which I totally didn't pick up from the ground.
Wow, you put them on the ground? Disrespectful.
These are the ATH M50Xs, and they're very good for listening to music or mixes, etc., that kind of thing.
Interesting. All right.
At home or on the fly.
At home or on the... Look at that. Are you sponsored?
No.
That was a good ad. That was a good ad right there. I like that ad.
Thank you. I'll try.
Yeah. So you said you got the pre-production. So if I remember correctly, did you tell me last time that you got, like, for the writing stuff, it's mainly you, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. For people listening to the podcast on Spotify,
they're probably like, did he have a stroke? What's going on here? What?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Man, you got to teach Adam how to work faster. Can you do that for me?
Nope, it's everybody's thing. They do it at their own pace.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Can you ever just side with me on one topic here? You just one thing.
Well, can you go watch a fucking movie? Go to the supermarket? Go to a bottle?
No, I can't. I don't do it. See, actually,
go listen to music. the fuck.
The funniest thing actually is that a friend of mine and I, for movies, we had a goal for 2020 to go see a movie every week because we're big movie people. I love going to the movie theater, and then obviously everything happened, and I think we went to like 2.
Yep. So
we're quite short of the goal. But no, I love going to the movies. So that one I lied about. The supermarket I do try to avoid as much as I possibly can. It's just very,
and that's fair.
It's just very, I don't know. I don't like it in there. It's too much going on. Too many people just fighting over pot roast or whatever, you know. But
toilet.
Yeah, right. Right. Listen, I just like to. I think people know the gimmick by. I just like to bury Adam when he's not here to defend himself. That's the most fun.
I do the exact same thing with Matt all the time.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Anything you'd like to say about Matt right now? Go ahead.
Matt, I love you. I think you're doing a very good job managerial-wise.
Oh my god.
You dirty bastard.
You cunt. But okay, so what can?
Actually, no, I will say this one. I will say this one thing.
Go ahead.
I think that the last drink that you had was pretty smooth, and that's an in joke. But it's an in joke because he brought us rum and he just drank it like it was water, and me and Paul were sitting there like, "This is fucking heavy."
I can't relate. So, I don't drink, so I can't relate to this stuff. I've never drank before. Can you believe that?
Good on you. Don't. Actually, no, I think my dad's in the same position.
That's actually more impressive. Being in Australia and never drinking. That's actually more impressive.
Yeah, it is actually. It's a very rare thing that you haven't come across somebody. Oh, it's a very rare thing that you come across somebody who like doesn't drink.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big thing in our culture.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Interesting. So I know this is like the quintessential band question, but so like so are you guys planning on doing something in 20? Because I know you just put out the EP, so I'm sure that's not going to last you for a year. So I'm sure that we should be getting something here pretty soon from you guys. I hope.
Yes, I mean, yeah,
November 13th.
Fuck! Honestly, I'd love to start re-releasing stuff again on the 13th. That would be a good fucking
just
recycle around.
Right.
Yeah. Look, I'm not. It depends how quickly stuff rolls.
Are you guys on a label? Well, what's the deal with that?
So we were on a label for Ultima. So
okay.
So we did like Ultima was just under that label, with the option of renewing it. I'm not sure what the go is. I'm not going to say anything and get myself into trouble. I believe we are looking though at a bigger label, for the next record.
Australian big label or international big label?
Either or.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I know you.
But,
I know you're going to be a good boy and try not to leak anything, but we'll see. Keep going.
I mean, I've already talked about the Trinity thing, like of it being Rachel, Clara, Ethan. Like I tried hiding the fucking Ethan thing for as long as I could, and then people were like, "Who's this dude?" And I'm like, "Surely, if you know the law, you've probably figured out there's the fuck." I'm just gonna paint it plain and simple. But anyway, digressing here. Yeah, like we're not happy to go with either, obviously, but like we're looking at both international and Australian.
Interesting. And well, you have Jeff, who has probably a connection or two, so that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think you guys probably deserve to be on that bigger stage, but you also seem to have done a lot on your own. So what would be why do you guys want to make that jump? Because I know you said you were on a label for Ultima, but why do you want to make that jump if you done a lot kind of on your own?
I think it's like
resources.
As taboo as it, yeah. I mean, resources. I mean, there comes a point where you look at a record contract and you just better off just saying, "Fuck it, we're just going to go to the bank and get a loan."
Right, right.
But like, I think it's kind of one of those things where, like, I think it's still very much a thing. If your band makes it onto a label, then at least you can kind of say we're signed, and people take you a little bit more seriously, as opposed to being unsigned. Because until you kind of like make that jump, you kind of put in this pigeonhole of like, or at least from what I can see, you kind of put into this pigeonhole of like, you're an unsigned band, you're unprofessional, which is very much not the case for a lot of unsigned acts. Like a lot of, I don't know, it's just like an establishment thing. That's the best way that I can put it.
I think for
but
you,
also having a broader team to work with as well would be awesome. So
yeah,
it's not just us doing everything. Because right now, like Matt and Jeff and our Australian-based manager Josh, like they do everything managerial-wise, like. And like me having to come up with like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love having to come up with all the artwork and like all the ideas and all the etc. But like, you saw my fucking whiteboard before. Like, I've got fucking 10 things I need to fucking do, and I'm sitting here like, fuck, I don't have enough time in the day. But
yeah,
like, yeah,
I think that you guys though, especially for the style of band that you are, I meaning like the concept driven, I think that with the extra resources, you guys could do some really cool shit.
I reckon we could too.
Okay.
I'm trying not to like say anything.
I know. See, I'm trying to slowly pull it out of you.
Slowly pull it out. No, it's one of those things like I'm trying not to say something which I think should happen and then doesn't end up happening.
Well,
like,
that's fun. Well,
that's happened before.
I did an interview yesterday with a fine gentleman, and he, without saying it, I put two and two together. I didn't want to press him on it because I know that there's some stuff that people can and can't talk about when it comes to that stuff without getting in real trouble. But let's just say that anybody with half a brain cell, they should be able to figure it out. Did I lose you again? I like this picture of you. Okay, let me get that.
Dog shit.
All right, we're back again. Australian internet.
I think my router's dying. Yeah.
No, it's fine. it's fine, man. Listen, this is the entertainment value on this podcast. This is gold. There's so many drop internet signals. We got FedEx at the door. We got drilling people over there. We got a cat who's constipated, meowing. We got all kinds of stuff. I mean, this is great. I love it. But yeah, man, I was saying before, what did you last hear me say?
Fuck. What were we talking about?
You don't listen. It's okay. You don't listen to me. So what I was saying before was,
fuck.
What I was saying before is that I interviewed a fine gentleman.
That's right.
Yesterday, and let's just say that in so many words, he kind of gave away what it was, but I didn't want to press him on it because I know there's certain things that people can and can't talk about, so I don't want to get anybody in trouble. And I said what I was saying before you dropped off the air, and I took this nice picture of you, which I will use to slide in during the part where you went to go smoke. Which there it is, right there. I like that right there. I was
just gonna do a really shit MS Paint photo.
Oh, you do that? Yeah, that's actually better. That's better. Yeah, I was just like, I said to him off air, he was like, yeah, you were right. And I was just like, yeah, I know. But anyway, so, but, but no, man, I look forward to what you guys can do, like with, the additional resource, especially for, if you can find a label who, obviously, if they're going to sign you, they obviously believe in your image and what your vision and what you want to do. So it could be some really cool cinematic stuff going on.
That's what we want to. Nope, I'm too blind. That's what we want to make sure. That's what we want to make sure happens as well. Like we do go with the people who are right for us,
right?
As opposed to like just going to like the biggest label that offers us a thing. So I think that's very much playing a big part. We were all kind of like aware of the way that we wanted to play that before we met Jeff, but Jeff very much solidified it. And like we knew, sorry, how do I put this? We knew that we didn't want to just sign to a label per se. But it's what to look for with like throughout those label contracts, like etc. Like what to look out for in meetings and etc. Like that kind of thing. That was very much like Jeff's like, this was bad, this was good. Like if we did have a meeting per se, like that's very much also what Jeff's there for. Because he's been around the block quite a few times, especially with like with previous bands that he's worked with and etc. So we're very lucky to have him in that aspect.
Gloom in the Corner to UNFD confirmed. Okay. So did Jeff have anything? Because we were talking about this, me and Jeff, about band names. And so did he have anything to say about your band name? Because I know that he made Left to Suffer change their name. And he also didn't like, well, I shouldn't say he didn't like it, but when he listened, I showed him our song that's coming out this Friday, and he said that our name versus the music was very different. So he didn't say anything about your name, though, huh?
I agree with him when it comes to your band.
Go ahead. I want you to keep talking. No, go ahead. I'm fine with it, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, he actually, like, if it's anybody that actually wanted to change the band name initially, it was me. And I came up with the first band name. But that was all the way back in like Villain times. And the difference is with Left to Suffer is that Left to Suffer were starting off with Jeff. Like they were starting off as a brand new band.
Right.
Like they hadn't put out any music or anything from my understanding, or maybe they put out something while they were Lost at Last, but it wasn't like it wasn't big enough for them to be like, oh, we can't change our name. We put too much time and effort into it. Yeah. Whereas with us, it's like, even though I'm still not the biggest fan of the full name, The Gloom in the Corner, because it's a stupidly long fucking name.
I like
despite the fact that it makes sense of the story. No, like a lot of people like it. Like a lot of people are like, it's really cool and really unique, and it very much reminds me of like we butter the bread with butter and slice the cake, and I probably set your friends on, no, it was, I set my friends on fire and shit like that. Like it's very old school throwbacky kind of thing to that.
I know you don't like my band name, but I do like yours.
It's okay. I hate my band name. So no, I actually like the name TrueShot, but like what I imagine Jeff saying was like the music and the name to me are like, oh, they're kind of like, when I think of TrueShot, I kind of think of like pop punk.
Yeah.
But like people had the same thing. Like people were like, The Gloom in the Corner, that sounds like a pop punk band, and then they listen to like Misanthropic or like Bleed You Out or Witch Hunt, and they're just like, this ain't pop punk. Like but yeah, he had nothing to say about the band name, but I think part of that was also due to the fact that we were already 4 years
stuff
deep,
out, yeah,
and we already had multiple releases out that were doing substantially well. Like he had heard of us before, because Taylor was the one who actually set us up with Jeff. He was like, Jeff wants to have a meeting with you guys. Can I put him in contact with you?
Oh, cool.
Is it okay if I do? Yeah. So shout out my boy Taylor, my big fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger twin. To my Danny DeVito. We said that if we tour together, that's going to be the tour poster. It's just going to be a recreation of the Twins poster.
I love that. That would actually be a really good idea.
But yeah, like yeah, we were already kind of like we were already pretty established at that point.
Yeah.
Like we just put out Flesh and Bones kind of thing.
Right.
We'd already done like multiple tours. We were getting set up to do Unify. We had just done Unify. We were just about to do Download. And like he'd heard the name around already quite a bit, so he didn't have a problem with the name. No, if anybody had a problem with the name, it's me.
I guess I just think when it comes to band names, I think that in the end, I think it's just kind of a name. I think it's more of like I think of like when you think of other bands, you think of like Parkway Drive. You don't expect metalcore, you know? Like I don't even know what I would think.
I mean, I do, but that's because I grew up in Australia.
Right, well, right. But I mean, like if you just like walked up to somebody on the street and you were like, I'm gonna give you a band name, guess what type of music they play. You say Parkway Drive. I don't know if metal would be the first. Maybe it would be, but I don't know.
I reckon it would be. I think I'd always. Yeah, but then again, I'm biased. I grew up in Australia.
Yeah, we got to think of
everybody knows Parkway.
Yeah, these people around here are not. They're not very well put together around where I live. So I don't know. I don't know what they guess.
Food.
Yeah, the McDonald's lines out to the road. I mean, come on, these people's judgment.
And how many of them are wearing masks in this economy?
Yeah, right. But no, man, I think I do like your band name. I think it's different. It's to me, I think of like heavy music though when I hear the Gloom in the Corner. I don't know why. I think I just
so do I. Like, and that's why like somebody, I think it was our friends over at Backbone Takeover. I think it was Frowny who said it. Yeah, he was like, when I first heard the name the Gloom in the Corner, I thought of pop punk, and I'm like, you're stupid.
Pop punk's like uplifting and
I can
like,
say that because he and I have an ongoing beef. But like,
yeah, I like beefs.
he's sorry, not actual beef, not like beef. It's like friendly banterous beef. He has a thing of calling me out every single week, saying that he could beat me up, and I reckon that's going to be a David versus Goliath situation. He's like 6'3" and I'm 5'5", and I'm just like, I'm ready to fucking go when you are.
Oh, you're 5'5", man! Wow.
Yeah, I'm 5'5". Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a little angry man.
Jeez, is that why you shaved your head to be more intimidating?
Well, that and the receding hairline, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The gloom, like pop punk. There's no gloominess to it. It's all like
no.
So I don't know where he got that from. What's his name again?
Frowny.
Frowny. You're a bad cunt. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Oh, I'm so sending him this. Oh, fuck.
Oh, but
I'm
man,
kidding, I love you.
Yeah.
But anyway, digressing.
Wait, his name is Frowny.
Well,
His name is Frowny, so he must be a pop punk fan. Okay. Go ahead. What were you going to say about Jeff?
He's not actually. He's not. That's the funniest thing.
Well, no, I was saying because it's the Gloom in the Corner. He thinks it's pop punk. His name is Frowny, so he must obviously be gloom, frown. He's obviously a pop punk guy too. So anyway, what were you going to say about Jeff? Very nice guy, by the way.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't have anything bad to say about the name.
Yeah,
I think that's partially because we're already established.
Yeah, he did have bad things to say about our name. That's okay. I'll let that slide. He's a nice guy. I like it. I like our name, man. I think it's.
I like your name too.
I do actually
like it.
I think it's just an easy name to say. It's just simple. It's like, what's the name of your band? TrueShot. It's just boom. Like those are the words. That's it right there. I don't know. I think it's like on a poster. It looks different from, the other like Lost in a Wake or Dies Tomorrow or that kind of stuff.
Verb the noun.
Verb the noun. Favorite. Exactly.
Verb the noun is my favorite.
Yeah, it's funny when I talked to Frankie on our first episode. He was like, he's like, Amira was cool because it was like it stood out on the poster, but nobody knew what the hell I was saying if they asked me. Like he's like, I'd be in an Uber, they'd be like, oh, what do you do for a living? I'd be in a band. Oh, what's your band? Amira. They'd be like, Amira. It's
a play. It's a slight misspelling of another word, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's usually spelled with an I. Believe me, I know all about it. Like you.
Is it I or A? Is it I?
I thought it was I, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, I think it's I. No, I think you're correct. Yeah, I think it's I.
All right, yeah, I could be wrong, but yeah, but yeah, man, no, I'm looking forward to some more Gloom stuff. I really liked. I think, I'm trying to think if Misanthropic is still my favorite. I think it might be. But I do like Violence and Warfare quite a bit. But I love Misanthropic. I don't know what
I'm just gonna tell you to get fucked because Requiem's still my favorite.
Well, of course, because that's the musician in you. You're gonna like that, but I'm more of a yeah. I think
it's probably like I think it's also to do with the fact that it's probably the most personal song that that I've written. Yeah, and just how much time I kind of like poured into that song as well. Like I think I remember the last time that we spoke, I said that it took me like 4 months to fucking write it.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
But like I think that's probably why it's my favorite. But that being said, all the new songs are my favorite. So,
well, is this your most mature sound yet?
That's
a joke. That's a metalcore joke.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would say mature.
Preteen?
No. Whoa. Not that metalcore.
Juniors in high school. Okay.
No, I've cut. We've already done enough editing, Richard. Fuck.
This is going up totally raw. No edits.
No, I think like I mature is like the wrong word. I think it's the most solid that we've sounded.
Cohesive.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that.
Full
there's
sounding.
There's a song that's in 13/4 and jumps around like 7 different time signatures. But like, sure, we'll go with cohesive.
13. What the?
Dun 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 dun. Oh, what the fuck? How's it go? Yeah, sorry, I'm getting.
Recreate the click track for us.
I'm bound to hell and loving. That's
all right. So we have some leaked lyrics right there, everybody. We were gonna get some information out of this, but listen, man.
You can refer back to this interview when that song releases, and you'll be like, "That's the bit that he's doing."
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, that's gonna kill me.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. I know it's 5 a.m. where you are. Yeah,
it is.
A nice watch you got there. Thank you. So I'll let you go though, man. I had a blast talking to you. I knew this was going to be a silly goose time, which is always the best. Which is always the best kind of podcast, just a silly goose time.
It's always the best kind.
Yeah, I mean, if people could see these images that get sent in this group chat, it'd be hilarious. Maybe I might want to put up the one that you sent the other day when I said "morning lads," and then you had that one picture of looking up your torso there. But
oh yeah, the fucking
yeah, I like that.
I just got out of the shower. That sexy photo. Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now.
Shit.
But all right, man. Listen, I'm looking forward to some new Gloom stuff. For as far as reactions and all that crap, we obviously you got to pay us for that. So yeah, no problem. I got
$5 lying around here somewhere.
Well, in Australian money, you owe us like 70. Yeah, okay. I love that Australian exchange, by the way. Whenever we pay Lance, I just get such a kick out of it. I'm just like, I could live like a king in Australia. I could just
yeah, you just like, fuck, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I love the exchange rate because we save quite a bit compared to our Australian colleagues, our contemporaries over there. But
yep, you do.
Any words of wisdom before you head out of here? Okay, you guys. Anyways, thank you. No, go ahead. Words of wisdom.
Yeah, working on Trinity. Sorry, bleep that. Working on next record.
Oh boy.
Listen to Mirage by TrueShot when it comes out on Friday.
But I know that the band name sucks.
Fuck Adam.
I know the band name sucks when it matches up to the music. But
actually, no. There is one thing I want to say before I go.
Oh boy, is it about the foreskin again?
No. Fuck Drop G.
That's very disrespectful. So you're gonna tell people to listen to our new song that's in Drop G?
Just go into Reaper or whatever fucking audio station you use to record. If you do or don't, if you don't, you can suffer, and just pitch it down half a semitone.
Well, we are working on a song that's in drop. I think it's an F sharp. Is that okay?
Good.
Is that good?
Good tuning.
Okay.
Good tuning.
Okay. As long as I get your approval. I like drop G, but you've been very disrespectful. It's been very mean to me.
Can I briefly at least explain myself as to why I hate drop G?
Yeah, go ahead.
So drop G is that tuning to me that's like when bands figured out that you can drop tune a fucking 7-string, like that was the tuning that people went to. And I also hate the key of C because every single piece, like every single jingle or 90% of jingles and like a lot of cinema music is all written in like C major or C minor or revolves around C because it's like the centered note. Like it's when you look at a piano keyboard, it is C. Like C is the centered note.
Okay.
And so a lot of people run off C to like write music, etc. And so it's the most basically like the most common scale. Like if you're learning music, you'll hear C a bajillion fucking times. G is like the fifth away from C. So whenever I hear drop G, it's also like to me, I'm just hearing C. And like I'm just so sick of that people using that key. That's why we're in like F. We used to be in drop G and we moved out of it. Also for me, like as an engineer, drop G to me is just like a very muddy tuning. Like it's not like you can obviously it comes down to guitar tones, but like to me it's the very muddy tuning. And like it is. Oh, I think I dropped again.
Oh, yeah.
Did I?
You're on life support, but I think you're hanging on.
I think okay.
Okay.
How much of that did you get?
You said drop G is muddy. It comes down to guitar tone, and then you said
For me, like it's like to me when I hear G, like it's not a nice muddy guitar tone. Like you know how you hear like a drop tune band, you'll be like, oh, that's thick as fuck, or the guitar tone's muddy. Like, that's fine, but with G, it doesn't sit right with me.
Okay.
For some reason, and like F sharp is fine, G sharp is fine, but G just doesn't sit right with me.
Interesting. Well, I just want you to know that everything you said before about C and jingles, it went way over my head. Just want you to know that.
Well, like you hear like a TV jingle, like on the radio or something like that.
I don't listen to the radio. Mikey, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Richard.
Thank you for listening to this edition of the TrueShot Guest Spot Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go listen to our other episodes. Share it with your friends. Show your grandma. Show your aunt. Yesterday, at the time of this, when I'm editing all this, right, it's January 25th. My birthday was January 24th, so make sure you follow us on social media at TrueShot Band on pretty much every platform. Stream our music. Subscribe to our Patreon, our Twitch, all that good stuff. All that stuff, you can go find it. I won't bore you with that, but also make sure you check out the Gloom in the Corner. Mikey's a great guy. They're a great band, and you gotta check them out if you haven't. But anyways, thank you for watching, listening, all that good stuff. Till the next one, peace.